Hi, I'm Jen from Green Mountain Compost, here today to talk about our Complete Compost, which is a beautiful blend of leaves, food scraps from our community, wood chips, and select farm manures. I'm just going to dig my hands into this right now and show you how rich and lovely this is. We screen our compost to 3/8 of an inch, so it's really easy to spread and handle. You'll never get big clumps or big sticks. And when you give it a sniff, you know that it's fully composted. It just smells like a luscious forest floor. All of our compost is completely composted to maturity. It's cured. So you're dealing with some very, very high quality stuff here. What's so great about compost? Well, I'm sure you've heard a little bit about it, but I want to tell you again that compost is a really important part of gardening. Soils become depleted. Sometimes they start depleted, particularly in places like housing developments where there's new construction going in and you've got very sandy or maybe clay soils. And those soils need organic material, and that's exactly what compost is. Compost is rich in beneficial microbes and slow-release nutrients that provide exactly what plants need to really prosper in all kinds of growth environments. So you can add compost to your garden, whether it's an in-ground bed or a raised bed. You can add compost to your potted plants or containers. There's so many great uses for it, but I'm just going to show you a couple things right now. So one of the many things that you can use compost for is to amend or enhance an existing garden bed. I have a little mini bed right here, and so I'm just going to show you how to do this. Just a note, you don't want to directly plant into 100% compost. That's not a great idea just because it's a very rich mixture. And so it's always best to use compost in conjunction with other soil. We usually recommend about 1 part compost to about 3 or 4 parts of native soil. So I've got my bed here full of vegetable seedlings, and I'm just going to add some complete compost right in there. I'm going to do about 2 inches here right on top of my existing soil, which you guys can't see this, but it definitely looks like it needs some love. It looks kind of sandy and depleted. So this compost is going to give this bed the boost it needs to provide great soil texture, great drainage, great aeration for these plants. And microbes and worms and other insects in your garden are going to just sort of bring the benefits of that compost right down into the soil and right down to the roots of your plant. So you can dig it in a little bit into your soil, but you don't have to actually like till it in. You can just sort of give it a little bit of a help, but eventually the compost and the benefits of the compost, those nutrients, will make their way down into the roots, the root area of your plant. So these plants are a lot happier now, and those are really going to flourish with just that little bit, a couple of inches of compost. And you can do that, maybe every other year or so, depending on how depleted your soil is. The best time to compost is in the fall, but you can also do it in the spring. Another great use for compost is top dressing a lawn, which is something that a lot of people forget they can use compost for, but lawns can really benefit from just a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of compost spread over the entire lawn. You can use a spreader, or you can, do the hard work of spreading it yourself. Rake that right into the soil, and if you want to, you can seed grass right on top of that, and you'll find that your lawn will really flourish from the addition of compost. It's sort of like a long-term investment as opposed to using chemical fertilizers, which you get a real quick result and then they wash off into the rivers and lakes and pollute things. So this is an all-natural, very healthy way to enhance your lawn or garden. No chemicals, good for people, good for plants, good for the planet. Another thing that we can do with compost is actually add it right to houseplants. So here I have a houseplant that really could use a little bit of help. It's not looking too happy. It hasn't had a lot of attention. The soil is low. It looks really dry and depleted. As you can see, the leaves are browning. So a little bit of compost in this houseplant can really do a lot for it. And I recommend adding compost about every 6 months or so to some of your houseplants. You can just sprinkle 1 inch or so on top of your plant. and work it into the soil gently, but not too much. You don't want to disrupt the roots in your plant. And just press that down a little bit and you've got a much healthier houseplant. So as you can see, there are so many great ways to use Complete Compost in your garden or your lawn, whether you're adding it to your existing garden beds to enhance the soil, or top sprinkling it on your plants or top dressing your lawn. You're going to see long-term results and they're going to be really apparent. I want to add that Green Mountain Compost tests all of our products to ensure the highest quality. We make sure that every single batch we make is greenhouse tested for maturity and to make sure that it's the safest stuff that you can use in your garden. So happy gardening, everyone, and thanks a lot.